This wasn't just another awkward celebrity clip. It was the kind of moment that makes people stop scrolling, rewind, and ask themselves why something so small suddenly feels so heavy. One short street video, a phone held a little too close, a conversation that seemed one-sided. And just like that, the internet decided this wasn't about a device at all. It was about distance, about effort, about whether something quietly changed right in front of everyone. The clip itself is simple. Selena Gomez is walking alongside Benny Blanco, their team trailing behind them. She's talking, clearly engaged, leaning slightly toward him the way people do when they expect a response. Benny never really looks up. His eyes stay locked on his screen. His body language is closed off, relaxed in a way that feels disconnected. There's no dramatic argument, no raised voices, nothing explosive. And that's exactly why it unsettled people. It felt intimate in the wrong way, like a private moment that accidentally revealed more than it should have. As the video spread across platforms, reactions poured in fast. Some called it dismissive. Others said it was uncomfortable to watch. A few tried to brush it off as nothing, but most people couldn't ignore the same thing. Selena seemed present, and Benny didn't. Once people noticed it, they couldn't stop noticing it. That's when older clips started resurfacing. Moments that seemed harmless before suddenly looked different through this new lens. A Lakers game where Selena reaches for Benny's hand, and there's a pause. Not a dramatic rejection, just a hesitation that felt a beat too long. Long enough for fans to freeze the frame. Long enough for people to ask why she was always the one reaching first. In public settings, Selena often looks attentive, expressive, emotionally open. Benny, on the other hand, comes across as reserved, sometimes distant, almost too comfortable. And comfort in the public eye is often mistaken for complacency. What makes these moments hit harder is the contrast. Selena has spent years being open about her struggles in a way few celebrities are. She talks about her health without turning it into a performance. She explains things calmly without dramatizing them, even when she doesn't owe anyone an explanation. For years, people online have picked apart the way she speaks. They've commented on her voice, saying it sounds slower, strained, different from how it was a decade ago. Some fans defended her immediately, pointing to lupus. Others threw out theories that bordered on ridiculous. Dental work, laziness, even worse assumptions. Eventually, Selena addressed it herself during a live stream, not defensively, not emotionally, just honestly. She explained that sometimes her throat swells internally, making speaking uncomfortable. No excuses, no apology, just the truth. That moment said a lot, not because of the explanation itself, but because of the way she delivered it. Calm, grounded, almost tired of having to justify her own body. She's been open for years about living with lupus and bipolar disorder. Bipolar wouldn't affect her voice, but lupus can cause inflammation. That lines up with what she described. She's even talked about how lupus caused arthritis in her fingers, making everyday tasks painful before she found medication that worked. These aren't abstract struggles, they're daily realities. And while she's explaining all of this with clarity and composure, the internet keeps dissecting her like a puzzle that needs solving. At some point, concern quietly turned into fixation. Fans started comparing clips from around 2010 to now. Side-by-side videos, slowed-down audio, micro-analysis of facial expressions. One clip in particular went viral where Selena appears to freeze mid-interview for a few seconds. Her face stays still while the interviewer speaks. Then she starts talking again, clearly not frozen at all. That didn't stop people from replaying it like a crime documentary. Comment sections filled with theories about her eyes, her mouth, her tone. Some people said her voice sounded monotone now. Others claimed she barely opens her mouth when she talks, reviving old veneer theories. Whether any of that is fair doesn't really matter. What matters is how obsessed people became with finding something wrong. And just as the conversation was spiraling, another storyline slipped into the mix and made everything messier. Hailey Bieber posted an Instagram photo that instantly raised eyebrows. The caption read, "10 new years together and counting," paired with a middle finger emoji. At first glance, it looked like a celebration, but the internet doesn't glance. It calculates. People immediately started doing the math. 10 new years together would land in 2026, but Justin Bieber was still on and off with Selena for years before marrying Hailey in 2018. Fans remembered that during a breakup in 2016, Justin posted a New Year's kiss photo with Hailey. That same photo resurfaced years later, reposted by Hailey, which only added fuel to the confusion. Justin himself once said he didn't want to rush into anything with Hailey shortly after that moment. Then, not long after, he and Selena found their way back to each other in 2017, before finally splitting in March of 2018. Just months later, Justin and Hailey were engaged. The timeline has always been messy, and that caption reopened a chapter many people thought was closed. Some fans didn't see it as shade. Others thought the emoji said everything. Was it a celebration, or a preemptive response to the backlash she knew was coming? Nobody really knows. But once that door opened, the comparisons came flooding back. Not because Selena brought them up, but because the internet never forgets. Still, as loud as that conversation got, it didn't last long. The focus snapped right back to Selena, this time alone at an airport. Photos surfaced of her traveling solo out of Los Angeles. Within minutes, people were asking where Benny was. Not in a curious way, but in a judgmental one. The surprise wasn't that she was flying, it was that she wasn't flying with him. Context matters, though. Benny has openly talked about being terrified of flying. If planes aren't his thing, it wouldn't be shocking for Selena to travel alone sometimes. But nuance doesn't travel as fast as speculation. Comments ranged from concern to outright cruelty. Some called her sad and lonely. Others crossed lines that didn't need to be crossed. What many longtime fans noticed, though, was something else. Selena had her blanket with her comfort item. Private plane, cozy setup, familiar routine. She didn't look abandoned, she looked calm. Even so, people kept projecting. A few wondered if, now that they're married, Benny might be showing up differently than before. More relaxed, less attentive. That's speculation, not fact, but it's part of the narrative that keeps circulating. And as if the timeline needed more noise, Selena was accused around the same time of heavily editing her holiday photos. She shared images from a snowy getaway, peaceful landscapes, clean air, quiet moments. Most fans loved them. Others claimed they barely recognized her. A few even suggested the photos were enhanced with AI. One person argued the mountain shadows didn't make sense. Another said her editing skills were sad. It felt like reaching, but once a narrative takes hold, everything becomes evidence. One comment stood out for all the wrong reasons. It called Selena and Benny the most neglected and dirty couple, accused them of staging photos, and painted Benny as someone playing the role of husband while enduring Selena's so-called toxicity. That wasn't criticism, that was hate. And most people clocked it immediately. There's a difference between questioning public moments and tearing someone down just to feel superior. The more extreme the comments got, the more people pushed back. Because at some point, the issue stopped being about body language and started being about how comfortable the internet is with cruelty. Through all of this, the same question keeps resurfacing. Are fans seeing real signs of trouble, or are they projecting stories onto fragments? Public moments are exactly that. Moments. They don't show the full picture. A pause doesn't equal neglect. Traveling alone doesn't equal abandonment. Being quiet doesn't equal indifference. At the same time, patterns make people uneasy for a reason. When one person consistently looks like they're reaching while the other looks settled, people notice. Not because they want drama, but because imbalance is uncomfortable to watch. The truth is, nobody outside that relationship knows what's actually happening. We see seconds, not conversations. Clips, not context. And yet, those fragments shape perception in powerful ways. Selena's openness makes people feel protective. Benny's reserved nature makes people suspicious. That contrast fuels the entire conversation. Maybe it's distance, maybe it's difference. Maybe it's just two people navigating life with very different rhythms under a microscope that never turns off. So the real question isn't whether Benny ignored Selena in one clip. It's why so many people feel like they recognize something in that moment. Something unresolved, something familiar, and until that feeling fades, every small gesture will keep getting replayed, analyzed, and argued over. Whether that's fair or not is another story entirely.